do we do for Africa? What are we planning to do for the Middle East? They are sitting in America and determining what should we do, the mental, and we should check. We should check. Allah has given us children as a trust. The school fees that we pay, they stay in our house. As long as you are going to stay in my house, you have to follow my rules. First things that is the important. In global politics, there are two types of influence. Hard power is also like a coercive power. The power that influence things, that you exercise power. One is what is called hard power is also like a coercive power. The power that the kind of influence or power that you have, the kind of influence or power that you have, and the person spending so much, money. But of course, soft power can be expensive, sometimes. None of them is easy. Now, sometimes none of them is easy. Now, if they attack somewhere now and run into a bush, they can lay ambush. If they attack somewhere now and run into a bush, they can lay ambush the mountain. Imagine, if you are going on the way to Kaduna now, and somebody attacks and run towards that remote areas, is to use like helicopters. They were still saying the Boko Haram that the person that supplies something to you can use economic power. There are things that this country imports kits because they want to earn revenue from Facebook and YouTube. That's the primary motivation, is how to earn revenue. So if you can get views, you get paid, and then you don't need to get a job. Just be shooting comedies, skits, pranks, and you get views on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And when you get views, they put advert on it, they pay you. So you are the one, is your youths by themselves that will be stripping their women naked by themselves. They will be doing things you want them to do by themselves. They don't need to come here to force you to do it. An average Muslim, an average girl today, not just Muslim, if you check their phones, you see all these Korean movies. Is what sometimes my children will be in their room like this, hours. If you check, they are watching Korean movies. Our mothers, some of them, they will on it like this. Is Indian, is this Z World something? All these things starts influencing how you do your marriage. They start influencing how you behave to your husband. They start influencing so many things that it is the day you try to change it that you will see how ingrained, how they will defend that thing until you try to stop them before you would know how much power and influence has been exerted on them without you knowing. In the name of Z World and just giving us the technology and letting us love it. So cultural influence is an example of soft power. There are nations, if you check the educational system of this country, an average person now would want to leave this country and send his children to school in UK, abroad, for university and all these things. And that is because they've packaged that thing that foreign, at least the UK, has been able to exert soft power on us, so that we'll be the one to look for money to go to their place, instead of looking for how to work and develop the country. They don't need to come and force us. And then you look at things like some of the foreign aids that they give us. I don't know the history of where HIV and all these things come from, but they are the ones that have the antiretroviral drugs. So we have a disease that they are the ones that have the cure. So they have a soft influence on us in the sense that they have the cure to a problem that you have. So if you misbehave, they can threaten not to supply antiretroviral drugs to us. And then all the people that are on those drugs can be, threatened. So these are various. Another last thing that is important, which will lead us into a little bit of a discussion around the crisis or the situation in the Middle East, is the diplomacy. And I think this is very important for us at AMF, that we take strategic alliances and diplomacy very serious. There are things you would want to do. That is your relationship and your alliances that will make those things possible. Economic alliances that will be able to say, AMF has been able to pull all the NASFAT, One Ummah, IDG, all of them, they've decided to patronize only so and so thing. Or if the government does not do XYZ, the following organizations have formed an alliance and they are boycotting or they are asking you to reduce the price of so thing. That will be a very powerful, a very useful soft power that we could be aspiring to have. Sincerely, my takeaway or my point at this point, or my advice to us at AMF at this point, is that we should be looking at our influences, at building strategic alliances and influences. Is probably more important than building an office. Because if you look at the FCT League or Council of Imams and the FCT Imams Council, they don't necessarily have a big office, but we know their influence in even the politics of Abuja today without an office. But because they formed strategic alliances, they pool their assets together and they are able to take position on some things and say, okay, if this is this. And sometimes when government is trying to implement things, even at federal level, within the Abuja context, within the Muslim context, they have to defer to the FCT Imams Council. And where is their big office? Fuad is where they meet, but it's not like office first. It's influence and power first. So this is what I want to just clarify for us to be sensitive to hard power and soft power. Now, how do I make this thing go? Now, the next thing I want to just discuss is a little bit at global level, to just look at the state of the Ummah at a global level. In global politics, there is this area that definitely, I don't know, Allah has made that area between, in the North Africa here, into Saudi Arabia, which is usually called West Asia. So let me just describe what we have on the map now. There are people that just sit and plan this thing. We have the whole of our Africa, and then, of course, North Africa, West Africa. This is usually called the Central Africa. East Africa, that's where you have all the Somalia and the rest, Uganda, Tanzania, and all of them, and South Africa. The West Asia, somewhere here is what is called the Middle East, between the West Asia and Europe, all over here. And then you have Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is where you have the very important places like India, China, Bangladesh. These are very populous countries in the world. Across here, I just like looking at this map sometimes, because if you look at America, America is in North America here, USA. They are so removed from the rest of the world, yet they control and cause chaos in a lot of places. But the chaos will not be fought on their own land. So they can afford to be implementing policies across Africa, across trying to instigate China to go against Taiwan, or trying to get Russia to fight, support Ukraine to confront Russia. They come here, they get Israel to confront the rest of the Arabs, and they back them. But their own homeland is far away here. And it's only a stupid person that will take a fight and come and fight it inside his house where his own children and family is. If you want to fight, you go far away so that whatever happens will stay there while you have your house. So this is generally like a small map of the world. Let me use a live map so that we can go in a bit. So now, what I want to share today with respect to the state of the Ummah component of it. We all know when we say the Ummah, we are talking about the Muslim community. And Islam and the Muslim community started, at least the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started here in Mecca. So it's largely a Mecca thing, somewhere here. And right from, who knows who can just give me an idea of where the whole story of Prophet Musa and his fights against the Pharaoh, the whole of that period, which country would that be today? Which country would we say the story of Prophet Musa happened? Egypt. Jazakallahu khairan. Egypt is here, is in the northern part of Africa, very close to Saudi Arabia here. The whole of most of the prophets that Allah has sent to the world, a lot of them, at least the ones that we have the records of, they are largely around this land of Israel, the story of Musa. This is the river that Musa crossed. The Red Sea. This is the Red Sea here. I think he crossed somewhere around here. And then this is Egypt, this Cairo into Israel. You can see that Egypt shares border with Israel here. Now, what is important for me here is for us to look at this Medina here, this Palestine here, this Cairo here. Islam was given birth to here in Medina. And the whole Islamic history. I don't necessarily want to do Islamic history. What concerns me today is for us to look at an age-old war that the Muslims have been fighting internally. That is the first thing I want to highlight here, which has been between the Shiites and the Sunni. This dividing line has been used to separate the Ummah from time immemorial. Allah knows what the people did then, the whole battles that happened then and everything. We take it as history, but we have an Ummah to build today. It was the land of Iran today, which is like the headquarters of Shiism, of Shiites, is Iran. The land and the headquarters of Sunni is Saudi Arabia. So they are very close neighbors. And for years, that line between them, between the Shiism and the Sunni, has always been there and has been exploited. Now, the two of them are here, and Palestine is here. The first point that I want to emphasize today, which a lot of us do not know that happened last year or 2 years ago, was that do we know that today, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they've reconciled between the two of them, and they are both now visiting each other, and they are both now having embassies, opening embassies. That is something they've not done in the last 50 years. I don't even know since when they broke diplomatic ties. And do we know who brokered the reconciliation between Iran and Saudi Arabia last year? Please, who knows? Who brokered the peace between Saudi and Iran last year? Now? Jazakumullahu khairan. China. Where is China? China is all the way here. China, Pakistan, Muslim Pakistan, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, all this area could not find a way. China brokered a peace between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now, because of this peace, because what has been happening between Israel, let me show you, let us see see Israel here. This land is the Palestinian land that the Israelis colonized. Surrounding Israel in the northern part, first is Lebanon here. So Israel shares a border with Lebanon here. Here is Syria. So you have Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Saudi, Egypt. They all surround Israel. So it's as if the way we are seated here as Muslims, somebody should just come and put an enemy, like a cancer, and drop it in our middle here. But Israel here, as small as it is here, is supported by people very far away. The whole of Europe here, and this Agbaya here, United States, all the way from here, it's far here, but is the primary backbone of Israel here. Say, my guy, stay there, nothing will happen to you. In this whole of the Middle East, where they call the Middle East is all this Syria, Israel, Saudi. This is the Middle East here. In this whole place and the people that surround them, Israel was the only one that the Western world empowered and gave a nuclear weapon. And the main advantage, the main power of nuclear weapon is what they call, it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent. No matter how stupid you are, no matter how lazy you are, if you have nuclear weapon, nobody will look for your trouble. Because just one alone, the damage you can cause is so much that, don't worry, just get nuclear weapon. So within the Middle East there, within this whole area, surrounded by Arabs and Muslims, is a small Israel, but he's the only one that the Western world, in one way or the other, we believe that they have nuclear weapons. So everybody is afraid of them. That's one. The second reason why they are so powerful, and today, because a lot of us are concerned that these things that we see Israel do, why is it that nobody can do anything? The UN and the UN Security Council will pass a resolution, and all of them, plus China, plus Russia, everybody will pass a resolution. Israel will just tell you that, my guy, you are disturbing me, sir. I'm busy dealing with these people first. Just something that is unbelievable. Why the immediate people, Syria, Jordan, Saudi, Egypt, cannot do anything today is that they've tried to do something 2 or 3 times before. And at the end of the day, Israel dealt with them. There was even a time, I think it's in the Yom Kippur War, that Israel, there was one that the Yom Kippur War, they were going to have like their own Eid. And then the Arabs quietly planned all this Syria, Jordan, all of them quietly arranged and tried to strike around that time. By the time Israel, with all the ammunition and weapon systems that had been supplied to them, recover, sincerely, except we are deceiving ourselves, they turn around and flog everybody with one strategy or the other. One tactical maneuver. They drove Egypt. This is Sinai area. You see, this is Israel here. This is the limit of Israel here. This whole desert area is called the Sinai area. If they say Waturi Sinin. This is the Sinai area. This is where a lot of the Islamic history, especially around Prophet Musa, happened. It's in Egypt. Israel drove the Egyptian army that attacked from here, because Egypt attacked from here, Jordan attacked from here, everybody was attacking. He drove them all the way out of even this Sinai area. That it was when everybody said, hey, don't do, we know they fight again. Okay. Well, that it's based on the treaty in that 1973 that Israel agreed to withdraw back out of Sinai area on the condition that from today you must never, what did I say? You must never attack me and you must never join anybody in attacking me. That was the treaty. That was the basis for agreeing to give back the Sinai area which they drove. These were people that came all the way, attacked them, surprise attack, but with the kind of support of the global community, of the Western world that they had. They could drive these ones back, drive this one back. So they had attacked in the 1973, I don't know if 73 or 78. They attacked again. There was the 1967 attack, the Six-Day War, which the same thing happened. That one was preemptive. Maybe this one, the Yom Kippur was, the Israel was like around holidays, they lose guard a bit. In the 63 one, the Israeli actually carried out a preemptive attack. They saw that the Arabs were planning and everything. So they did not know. Before they could attack, they struck and dealt with. So at the end of the day, the Arabs, in all honesty, have been shown that with the backing we have in Western Europe, with the backing we have in North America, when I say Western Europe, you look at it here. This area is the Mediterranean Sea. This is where a lot of people coming from Africa, Nigeria, all these places, trying to go into Europe here. This is the Mediterranean Sea where a lot of them die. A lot of people die trying to cross from here to here. Some people land in Tunisia, some people land in Libya here and try to ride a boat from somewhere around here. So they will trek across, they will take trucks, enter Molue, whatever, across all these deserts here to get here and take a boat, knowing that if they can land in Italy here, this land is part of Italy, you can see Italy. If they can land here, it's as if they landed in heaven. They are in Europe because Europe has an EU, a collective treaty that if you can land anywhere in Europe, you can find your way to sneak around and go to Germany. If you run into problem in Australia, you can run into France and all these things. So this is the Mediterranean Sea. The whole of this Western Europe, they support Israel. America is a life, I've not even been able to understand. It's as if their life depends on it. They support Israel to the last. Even at their own detriment, they will support this Israel. So in truth, the point I'm trying to make here is that it is not the Arabs are not fighting Israel. These Arabs are fighting the Western world, that is Europe plus America. So it is not actually a simple war like that the Arabs are fighting. But all this while, they've not been able to achieve much until recently. And I want to show you what happened recently. Within the Muslim world, there is just one country that we can say is a Muslim country that is nuclear powered, that is a nuclear power. And that is Pakistan. It is the declared nuclear power that you can say is a Muslim country and it has nuclear power. It's only Pakistan. Pakistan is a bit far away from this area. So they can speak English and then everybody too, you still play your politics. But even in actual military capacity, Pakistan is not, if you remove the nuclear weapon, the actually most powerful Muslim country in the world is actually Turkey. In the whole NATO alliance itself, Turkey is the second, is probably, apart in NATO alliance, what is NATO? NATO is the military alliance between America and Europe. NATO was formed to counter Russia. Now, in the whole NATO alliance, after America, the next most powerful country is actually Turkey, because Turkey is part of the NATO alliance. The next most powerful country is Turkey, but Turkey does not have nuclear weapons. but they have the largest land army. They produce some of the most advanced drones and everything. But Turkey, because he's trying to join Europe, is also trying to be careful. So it's not all the time. So today, Turkey, for me, as Muslims, and probably even as Sunni Muslims, our biggest defender that I can see is probably Turkey, my own opinion. He's the only one that can even talk. Because of the beating that the Arabs have received a number of times, that forced them to go into some alliances that, okay, me, I will not fight you again. I swear, from now on, I will not fight you, and I will not even join anybody in fighting you. Okay, we agree. So they are the only person that can speak that Israel, we will deal with you. Or Israel, this thing you are doing, even during the last Gaza, I can't remember which year it was, during the last Gaza war before this last one, I think 2016, or when was it? 2018, or the recent mad one. There was a time that Turkey even had the temerity, so to say, in the eyes of the Western world, to load a ship. Because let's understand what Israel is doing to Palestine. Let's just go in there so that we get how bad the situation is. This is the land that is called Israel now. Now, the only place that they call Palestine in the whole of Palestine is this small Gaza Strip. So when they say Gaza, it's just this small area. Imagine people that are the owners of the whole of this place being forced inside this place. Now, what is even worse there is that this boundary is bounded by Israel on this side, and Israel also has their military on the water here, on the Mediterranean Sea. So it's like you are enveloped. This is Israel all around here. This is Mediterranean Sea with the Israeli Navy and the American Navy here. So where is the remaining space for the Palestinians? Just this side that is bordering, just this short part that is bordering Egypt. So now, the Palestinians on Gaza are surrounded by land, by water here, and by Israel here. They are surrounded on both sides. So that is the situation of the Palestinians. You now have Turkey coming from here. This Turkey here, with a ship loaded with relief materials that we are coming to give the Gazans here. And currently today, Israel does not allow anybody to even go and help them. Even if you want to carry aid to them, the Israeli Navy here will not even allow you. So Turkey was the only one that will say, okay, fine, we are not coming with a military mission. It's like the way we do some Dawa caravan with a medical, this thing. Israel said, no, even medical, you cannot come. It was Turkey that had in mind that, how can you say we cannot come to help our brothers? And they loaded the ship and they started going. But definitely, they got close to Gaza, and Israeli naval forces boarded the ship, seized the ship, and I don't know how they settled it, maybe turned it back or something. But that's the best that any Muslim nation can do to confront Israel in helping Gaza. Now, I want to close this area with the fact that Iran did not sign any peace treaty, has not even confronted Israel directly before. During all those Israeli-Arab wars, Iran was not directly participating in it. Now, Iran knows that this is Iran here, is far away, physically, from Palestine here. What Iran did is start building what is called the axis of resistance. They started building like groups. I don't know what to call them. So in Lebanon here, Iran has Hezbollah in Lebanon. Inside Gaza, Iran supports the Hamas in the southern part of Israel here. So they have like a set of people that they are quietly empowering militarily here. And inside Gaza, they had Hamas. And then down south of Saudi Arabia here, they have the Houthis in Yemen. So while they are here, they are supporting a team here, and a team down here. Those are that is now like the tactics that Iran was using to pressurize Israel. Those are the only people that can militarily now confront Israel. That's why you have the fight between Israel and Hamas, Israel and Hezbollah, and then Houthis all the way from here started firing rockets. Of course, they fought Saudi Arabia for a while. When Saudi saw that these people, they will mess up our economy and our this thing. Last year, they also had peace treaty with the Houthis there. The Yemenis, first, they started blocking any ship of Israeli related that passes through this place. They started bombing them. When that did not stop Israel from occupying and oppressing the Palestinians, they are one of the first set of people to fire a missile all the way from Yemen here, travel across, I think largely they are likely to fly over the Red Sea to go and attack Israel all the way here. Those are like the proxies that Iran was using in like an axis of resistance against the Israelis in support of the Palestinians. Now, recently, Israel sees that this tactics of Iran is becoming problematic. So they started various forms of attack against all of them. And recently, the first time that somebody, since the world wars and the actual wars that Israel has fought, that somebody will actually attack Israel were missiles that Iran fired all the way from Iran here, across Iraq, across Syria, into Israel here, and actually strike Israel. Now, what is of interest to me here? Definitely, we are here, we are part of the global ummah. Definitely, our heart is always with the Palestinians. There is a limit with what we can do physically to support them and stuff. I think there are some people that gather things, get it to Egypt, and then from Egypt try to get it to Palestine. But it is on us to understand the state of this map so that when things are being discussed, because if you look at it now, Shiites are the ones that are confronting and standing up for the Palestinians. I don't know what we have to say about that, but the way we confront ourselves sometimes is as if even Shaitan is better than Shiites, the way we confront ourselves sometimes. Now, tactically, is the Buddhists or the atheists of China that was last year able to reconcile Iran and Saudi Arabia. So for me, it's good to understand that whether we like it or not, Iran is there fighting in support of our brothers in Palestine. Turkey is there, also able to say something. But in truth, if there is going to be actually confrontation, Turkey is probably one of the biggest firepower that the Ummah can boast of, today. So I don't know what this means. This might mean different things to different people here. But the two things I want us to take away from today's session is that, one, the importance of soft power and hard power. We've discussed that soft power are influences or power you can use to make somebody, to co-opt somebody to voluntarily join you. If you have money and you are supporting somebody, that's soft power, because there is a chance that he would appreciate and do some things for you. If you have, like, even Saudi Arabia has a very powerful soft power. The Mecca that they have, the Haramain that they have, and they are maintaining, all of us gather money to go there by ourselves. Saudi does not need to force us. UK is using educational soft power on us. We will gather our money by ourselves and send our children to school there. They don't need to force us. Those are soft power. The Koreans did not need to force us. They just produce their movies, find a way to get it to us in large quantity, and by ourselves, we will download it, we will do it, our children will sing their song and start behaving like them by themselves. So I asked us, what soft power influence can we build? Can we be trying to build? And then on the other hand is hard power. What coercive? Because while soft power is cooperative, persuasive, cooperative, hard power is coercive, that you can use to force something to happen. If you have Nigeria as an ummah, Abuja as a place, and we are coordinated, we can make economic threats. Some people can fear that, hey, if we say we should pass these things and it's against the Muslims, they might boycott social products. They might not patronize this thing. It's a form of hard power because it's coercive. So I don't know what it means. It means what I'm saying means different things to different people. But as an ummah, I believe we need to review and check what amount of influence do we have today. As AMF, what can we cause to happen? Can we cause University of Abuja to admit 300 students in this FCT? If we say we have 20 students, can we influence them into any school and say the Muslim, this one is from the Muslim? Because that's what the Israeli lobby does in America. They will force the whole of our American government to keep supporting Israel. So that's soft power, that's hard power. And on the global stage, we can see some of these things that are happening. Historically, if we look at the Ottoman Empire, the last Muslim caliphacy was by the Turkish. And just to close with that, we should know that this last caliphacy that took over from the breakup that you have during the Abbasid era, that whole breakup, it was the Turks. These Turks here, this was not even where they were. They came all the way from this Mongolia area to come and they became Muslims in Mongolia area, and they were the ones that salvaged the caliphacy when the decadence of the Abbasid dynasty set in. It was then, for some of us that has watched Ertugrul, that was when Ertugrul and his son Ottoman founded the Ottoman Empire. So the Turks, they are not Arabs, but they were the ones that stood up for the Ummah during that time. And today, the Persians, they are not Arabs, but they coordinated from them, and today they are standing up for the Ummah. Maybe the Ummah will need the blacks, the Nigerians, the Africans to stand up for the Ummah as time goes on, if we can coordinate ourselves and really think and understand various forms of influences and powers that we can, exert. So inshallah, I would stop at this point. If there are questions, comments, contributions, these are just my own. When people tell stories and when they give history, we must realize that a lot of times is from the person's perspective. So these are not like absolute facts. These are the information I have access to, and that is the processing. That is the way I perceive them. Somebody else will study the same thing and come to different conclusions, but these are the best of my understanding around some of these global affairs and the state of the Ummah generally. We pray to Allah to grant us, to make us part of the seed of an Ummah that will be strong, that will protect the weak, and be there for the poor, and stand up against tyranny. We pray to Allah to bless our gathering, bless our homes, bless us as individuals, and unite us like this in Jannah, and the best part of Jannah, at Jannah to Firdaus. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت ونستغفرك ونتوب اليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Takbir. Alhamdulillah. I believe we have seen practical demonstration of current affairs and what we call global politics, where Malan was talking and he was demonstrating, showing us in the map and the influence or lessons that Muslims should learn from this. Most especially, Malan talked about the hard power and the soft power. We as Muslim organizations, how have we built our soft powers? How have we built? You can stand in a place and be controlling the world, controlling powerful people. You see, mostly in Nigeria, I know we have limited time, and many people may want to contribute. But unfortunately, the time of Maghrib is just 6:15, and we have some two people that are going to address us here. But what I just want to say, even if you come to Nigerian politics, they are the actors in the political era. Those are the politicians. They are those who have the soft powers, those who have the economic power. They may not be active in politics, but they are controlling the politics because they have the power. How have we used our soft power to control and manage the affairs of the Ummah? I think we should continue to talk and enumerate about this. May Allah continue to guide us. I will give you the money. May Allah continue to guide us. Maybe we may find more time again to sit and discuss, because this topic is topic that everybody needs to contribute. I mean, please, the organizers may find time again so that we can find a time, not discussing this time around, but deliberating on this topic. May Allah guide and protect us. Very sorry, we have two people, NGOs that are going to address us, especially still state of the Ummah. We have our brothers that have come, they are collaborating with the Abuja Muslim Forum to fight what is the vices that we are thinking is coming up in Nigeria. If we don't fight it now, this time around, not what Mala have said, collaborating between all the facets of Muslims, here even between the different religions. So we have a brother, what's his name? Brother Sonny, who is going to, they are just coming back from National Assembly, I guess, with our PRO, is going to give us maybe 3 to 5 minutes to just address us. Then we will now give our brother Isaac Oladele, to also tell us about the NGO that is having a program in this weekend. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to address you. And, my name is Sonny. I am a member of the Foundation for African Cultural Heritage, which is an NGO. But this one is a unique NGO. It's a coalition of NGOs that promote values. So, a coalition of NGOs that promote values. We have come all the way, many of us from Lagos, to speak with stakeholders like you on something that is very, very, very important. Very important because it's something that is going to destroy our lives, our people, you know, because it has to do with our cultural and religious values. I mean, the last speaker was saying that it's about to come out. It has come up already. We're already in trouble because they are not teaching our children in school about sex, about masturbation, about LGBT, and so on and so forth. We have the syllabus here to show you. So what are we waiting for? There's a problem here, an issue here. So that's why we have come all the way from Lagos. Harima has come from Osun State for it, you know. She's going to talk to you about what is happening. So what have we come to tell you? That you need to speak up. You need to start speaking up, you know. we are here about 1:30 in the afternoon to talk about this, and we are back. Please, this is not the time to keep quiet. After listening to us, you have to take action. Otherwise, if what has come to Nigeria takes a deep root, we are going to be in trouble. Our children, our grandchildren, grandchildren will be affected. That's why we are begging, pleading with everyone to speak up, And we have we have a soft copy of a press release that we have made. I mean, itemizing the whole thing, issue of abortion. They want to legalize abortion. They want to legalize LGBT. We have just told the National Assembly that they have been putting pressure to legalize LGBT. We are just coming from there now. They want to legalize surrogacy, and they want to legalize corrupting our children in school, telling them how to do masturbation, how to do oral sex, terrible. Let me ask Arima to come and brief you, because it's something that is, after listening to it, in fact, we are just coming from the honorable members of House of Reps office. When she heard it, she said, no, this can't be. We are going to take action, okay? So after listening to us today, see what you can do. If you can speak, if you can make publication, do so. If you can speak to the vice president, please do so. If you can speak to your legislators and National Assembly, please do so, because we're in trouble. How can foreigners be telling us how to live our lives? Be telling us how to educate, be corrupting our children with their textbooks, it's completely unacceptable. Harima, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Alima Ali Bankole. I'm from Osun State. I'll very briefly to the point. I'm going to talk about something called comprehensive sexuality education. So comprehensive sexuality education was introduced into Nigeria in 2001. And when it was introduced at that time, it was very comprehensive. It included abortion, masturbation, gender orientation, and the likes. So there was an outcry in 2001 about this, CSE. And then two things happened. The name was changed to Family Life HIV Education. That's the name that it still bears now. And then the other thing was that it was watered down to be abstinence only. But over the years, they continued to make more advocacy. And then we have seen two examples in our children's books that shows that this comprehensive sexuality education is here in Nigeria. For example, in primary 6, they are being taught about the functions of the reproductive organs, as in the male and female reproductive organs, the penis, the scrotum, testis, vagina, how all of this come together to create a baby for primary 6. And we find out that this is how it exactly is in their own curriculum, a curriculum called the International Technical Guidance on Sexuality Education, that 9-year-olds must know about the anatomy. Then the other thing that worries us much is the topic of abortion. So last year or 2 years ago, we saw that abortion in a textbook by a publisher, and then the organization FAC spoke up to this, what's it called? Challenge that publishing house. And then when they did the next edition, they removed the topic abortion. But this year again, we are here with a textbook. We are going to show it to you now. That another publisher has published the same abortion, and this time is even worse, because this one has pictures of the abortion process. It explains to the children that when you use forceps, you crush the bones of the baby, and then you ensure that you remove the head last of the baby. So two things, they are telling them that it's okay to do abortion, and the second thing is that they are making them inhuman, talking to them about dismembering a baby. So what we are saying now is that everybody needs to be concerned about this, because it's, aside from the textbooks, it's also on the website of the Federal Ministry of Education, the inspire.education.gov.ng, the Federal Ministry of Education's website. So, and we have the reproduction lesson there, but the abortion is an audio lesson called Family Life Education for GSS3 Basic Science. So there's no negotiating it. They negotiated it in 2002 that it should be watered down, but it's back as gross as it is. So what we are saying is that get it out. But yes, our children need some form of sane sexuality education. We can get that through a curriculum that was introduced through FAC. That is the Human Dignity Curriculum. That when the children are taught to know that there's dignity in a human being, then any other thing that they have come across in the past or might come across later on, that they will not get corrupted by this. So thank you.
Very much. I think we'll invite. Okay, because of. Okay, Tom. Maybe you can have like 1 minute. They've called prayer, so just end it.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I stand on the existing protocol, and as there's no time, and I'm a medical doctor, and I'm a consultant on all these matters. So basically, what we're here to say is that the legalization of abortion in Nigeria, under the so-called title of safe abortion, is not wanted. It will go against our human capital. It will destroy the next generation. It will destroy our belief we're all God-fearing people here and destroy our culture. And then the second thing is that we are aware that there is a bill right now in the National Assembly that seeks to regulate surrogacy. Surrogacy of itself is an evil action, because what surrogacy does is that it rents a womb of a woman who might not be the mother, rents a sperm and rents an ovum, and then everything is mixed up in the lab, and then a baby is produced. And these babies usually are ordered from abroad. Usually they are bought from the gay, the homosexual community, and lesbians. They are the ones that can naturally have children. Therefore, they come here ordering for these children. And then when these babies have defects and they are not wanted, what happens to them? Either they harvest their organs, they are killed, and their organs are harvested. The liver, the cornea, the kidneys are usually harvested and sold to the highest bidder, or they are trafficked across borders. So you can see there's no point in regulating surrogacy, which is what the bill is about. We're preaching that it should be abolished, just like abortion. We do not want it in our country. Thank you very much.
I believe we are already in the battle, and by the grace of God, we'll fight it to the end. Please, please, as we are preparing to go to mosque, let's just, because it's happening this weekend, let Valen just give us 1-2 minutes, please, on the upcoming NGO program.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Because of time factor, I stand on the existing protocol. You all know me, I'm part of the HUMA. I will talk for 1.5 minutes, while my brother, Magistrate Ajala, will also talk for another 1.5 minutes. Make it a total of 3 minutes because of the time factor. What we are simply here to do is related to what our predecessor also have mentioned. Thank you very much. You are welcome, sir. And it's all about the head of the HUMA. There is an organization we call Serifat Ajala Menopause Foundation, SAMP. And we have been assisting close to over 2 years now. We were here around this time last year to invite you to come and celebrate with us what we call a World, Global Menopausal Day. It's actually tomorrow, 18th of October, globally, that the World Menopause is being, marked. And inshallah, here in Abuja, we shall be featuring on so many radio stations, Just radio station, FRSC radio station. And on Saturday, there's going to be a health walk. After some of us have made our face available for free vital sciences check, your BP check, your blood sugar level, and whatever will be checked for you free at Area 1, basketball field. They call it diplomatic garden at Area 1. So we welcome brothers and sisters to come around. We are going to lecture you on what menopause is all about, what the challenges that is associated with reaching the age of menopause, most especially for our women, and the need for us as husband and as brother to cooperate with them at that stage of life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My brother has spoken all. I don't need to really bother us or burden us with talks again. We are inviting us. If you are able to make it tomorrow on Saturday, inshallah, 7:30, the medication or medical test will commence. See, when we talk about menopause, we'll come and listen and know what it all entails. It has to do with you and me. It's not about our women alone. It's about me, about you. It has affected me. It affected my wife. It was my wife that we named the foundation after, Ajala Sherifat. She died out of menopause complication. And that is why we have the foundation. We are inviting everybody. May God bear with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
On behalf of the Amir, as the chairman, I thank the guest speaker who is part of us. The speaker is part of us, so inshallah. And all those that have come, we thank you very much, and we urge you to keep moving. And by the grace of God, we must reach there. The program, inshallah, it will be success. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun alal mursalin.